If your marriage feels more like roommates than lovers, or if stress has built a wall between you, this podcast is for you.
We're Andrew and Lara, marriage coaches and happily married couple of nearly 20 years.
We're best friends, partners in adventure, and living proof that marriage can be both joyful and strong.
Every week we'll share real stories, practical tools, and one simple shift you can make to go from disconnection to intimacy, and from survival to thriving together.
When you watch a film, almost always there's this sense of danger and this couple falls in love and then they're in the bedroom sleeping together. It's wild. The person might not even be safe. But this episode, we're going to talk about intimacy beyond the bedroom, building emotional safety, because in marriage and in a long-term relationship, danger, yeah, maybe that's exciting, but you need safety in order to feel safe in intimacy. And we're talking sexually, but we're going to talk about intimacy beyond the bedroom. And I've had this saying with Andrew that we've had since we got married, that sex starts in the kitchen. And even though for some of you that's going to paint a very sexy image, what we're actually talking about is that emotional safety starts in the kitchen. Would you agree with that?
Totally. Like in films you see, it seems sexy, seems adventurous.
And it is in those films.
Of course.
But
it seems empty to me. It seems there's not all the add-ons and the wonderfulness of I'm married, we know each other so well, and there's all this life beyond. They're doubting, are they going to call me in the morning?
Well, they're scratching a physical itch, but what often is not portrayed in film, right, is the deep emotional connection that you can have with sex. And it's not really something talked about a lot, but yet in marriage, we're talking about a long-term relationship where it's just us two. You make vows to each other to be faithful to each other physically, emotionally, and that sex will only be between the two of you. And that we need to talk about that because it's not what you see in films. And for some reason, the beauty of that is just not portrayed. And it is beautiful. And it's more complex than just the pure physical desire alone. There's more investment and more skill, not just talking about physical skill of really knowing each other, but more skill emotionally.
Harder to get there as well, right? So
we're not talking about orgasms. Pardon the pun, harder to get there. Maybe it is for some people.
It takes more investment emotionally, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that overnight connection and just like, oh, it's amazing straight away.
Yeah. So there's one side that you see in films and you see in media, and that's just that story is told over and over again in almost everything that is on television. But what you don't see is the side in marriage where it's far more complicated. There's more psychology involved. There is more emotional intelligence and awareness involved, and there's more connection in the body, the mind, the heart, the spirit. There's just so much. In attachment science, this is really interesting by someone called Sue Johnson. When couples feel secure, their nervous systems downshift. Oxytocin rises and defenses drop. And I don't think that conversation's been had enough. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a complicated thing. The number of factors around my life day to day that can just shift my nervous system to downshift, to upshift, to all the different things. And so it's complicated than what's happening in your life. And then we add kids to it and all these things. It becomes, a mix of everything.
There's this thing called bids for connection, and it's predicting lasting intimacy through a lot of data with the Gottman studies, but turning towards each other in the small moments throughout your day, throughout your marriage, throughout all of these moments actually creates this emotional safety and this emotional stability. So if you're in a marriage right now and you're thinking, I don't want to have sex with my husband or vice versa, because I don't feel emotionally safe, I want to validate that because it's real. You might be feeling like there is no way I want to connect with them because sex is a deep, deep connection. And although some people, and it's more known that men can detach the emotional side from it, historically, psychologically, that's far more common. I don't want to speak for all men because there's always exceptions to every rule.
And women for the same
Yes,
side,
I think actually for men it's far more complicated than a lot of them have been allowed to
credit.
portray or
Yeah.
give credit.
Yeah, I'd like to say that for men, we're way more emotional than we are.
Allow or be told that you're allowed.
Be told that it's societally sort of said, or that's normally assumed of like, man, oh, it's all about them getting fed well, and then just they can turn it all on. But I think there's a way more intricate nature for men
in a marriage situation, and that's what we're talking about. We're not just talking about these one night stands, but you don't build intimacy just through intensity all the time. You build it through safety every single day of your married life, and that's wildly important and wildly not talked about. So I want to ask you a deep question, babe. Like, when do you feel safest with me in order to be able to go into sex? Do you think that it's all about if you just have a physical urge as a man? And obviously speaking for a lot of men, but not all men, when do you feel safe to have sex?
I feel safe when I know I've got your eye, and I know that I have your respect. Is the biggest
Is it
thing.
really my eye? Do you really feel like you need my eye as a man?
Well, I feel like I'm not seen by you if you're focused on other things. If you haven't seen the things that I've done in the day that sort of would add to the families.
So there you go with the emotional intimacy, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's mostly that.
Does that surprise you to hear that? Because that's not what men would traditionally or in the media be sharing.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of men, I know some really good friends, and I think it's quite varied what we all find.
Everyone's different,
Everyone's
yeah.
different. Yeah. So for you, what makes you feel safest? For me,
In terms of intimacy in the
Yes,
bedroom,
yeah.
beyond the bedroom, actually, I would say I need to feel, and it's really important to me, and maybe I'm speaking for a lot of women, again, maybe not all of you, that I'm the only one that you have eyes for. I think there's a much stronger feeling of I need to be sexually the apple of your eye. Like I need to know that I'm the parts of me that you like me for me, and that I can show up in a sexy way for you, and it's not going to be like, oh, I'd rather be with that person who looks that way. So there's a lot of how do I look physically, and am I enough for you?
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily start in the bedroom.
Yeah.
That starts with those little bits for connection through the day. Oh, look, you look really great today. Or like you're noticing me when I'm in maybe my less than as a mother, which is probably most of the time. I wish I could be like those 1950s housewives where you come home and I'm like, I look amazing. Look at my hair and makeup. I'm just gorgeous. But most days it's like, babe, you married this and this is what you got. I'm so sorry. It's just crazy today.
Which is amazing.
And I know that the physical stuff matters and I want to look good for you. I do. But a lot of the days I am in what we say in Australia, my tracky pants, no makeup, messy hair, and I want to do more. But honestly, we're just in a stage of life where some days that's just real for women, right?
I dare say that a lot of men that I've come across, but I feel that you and your tracky dacks and no makeup on is great for me. It's totally fun because I know you through and through, and it's not just the package that turns me on or that gets me enticed towards sex. It's who you are to me, and that you are beautiful to me, and that I've made beauty in my heart for you. That I've made you the object of my eye.
And do you think a man can do that? Do you think that a man being often the far more visual, again, not everyone, but the far more visual, so visually, like the desire center, there's a science to it. When it's true, like that when you see something, it can trigger that desire center and trigger a physical response, even sometimes without you wanting it to.
Yeah.
How does that come into the conversation then? How do you choose? Do you think a man can choose? To say you are my definition of beauty, which you've said to me.
Definitely, that's my
since we were dating.
That's the place I've made, and so I think it is possible. I know it's possible because I've turned my heart, which was very flippant and very object driven when I was young. It was like every man, just was
not every man, but a lot of men.
a lot of men turned on by attractive women and that. And so that's there. And so people would ask me, so what, you don't lust, Andrew? And of course there's lust in me. I'm a human and I have that drive. So if someone's attractive nearby, we notice, but I have a quick trigger towards who do I choose because there's so much images out there. If you're on social media scrolling, there's so much
temptation away from your marriage.
So many ways. It used to be when out without social media, banners on posters in the car. You're driving to work and you see, lingerie models.
Yeah, that was big in
advertising
London.
lingerie.
London had a bit of a lower standard than I've seen in the States.
And we've lived in many different cultures and countries, and that's different in every place. And as time has gone on, but now it's so easy with the scrolling and that sort of thing. So there's things pulling at us all day long to be ooh, and so it's silly to say that I don't react to those things, but I have a quick trigger to choose who is mine, because otherwise I would be just bending to everything around me.
And the reason that comes up, and even though that this episode's not necessarily about those things, pornography and images and all of those things, but there is a bit of a cultural narrative, at least in the West, that you can look but you can't touch, and that I can do whatever I like. It's not being unfaithful. But for me as a woman, what I'm saying is that it matters to me that he has that amazing ability that he said, I choose you when we got married. And choosing someone is very much about, I choose you physically, I choose you emotionally, I choose you spiritually, whatever that means for you. I choose to see you fully, and you are the apple of my eye. And if a woman's constantly feeling, or vice versa, that they're competing with everyone out there, there's a faithfulness issue. And you have again and again said, I choose you. Yes, that's attractive, but I choose you. And that makes me feel safer with you, because it's not denying the beauty out there. Goodness, it's everywhere. But it's saying, I choose you to be superior. I choose you to be where I go to meet my sexual needs. I choose you.
Because that line of thought says that a man is strong because he acts on his sexual desire and is all those, that sort of line of thought. But the strength for a man is to say no to temptation, no to things that are pulling me away from faithfulness, purity in heart towards my wife, and whatever you've started out, the vow I made to her, and that is strength as a man, to say no to those things.
Do you know what's amazing about what Andrew said is that's not the cultural narrative that we live in, and a lot of people aren't discussing that within a marriage context, and yet it needs to be talked about, because in a marriage, if you want to have a beautiful marriage, this has to be talked about. And every couple might have slightly different feelings of safety around that. It can be environmental, it can be caused by trauma in your past, many, many things, and you're going to need to work as a team around that. But in the day-to-day, we're sharing with you what works for us and what we have called our standards in our marriage, and I feel safe with Andrew. Like, I honestly do. Knowing that he's still a hot-blooded human being, and that matters too, because if he wasn't, then we'd have a sexless marriage, because you'd never have desire for me. But that desire, we live in a culture that says pleasure, follow it. Pleasure, bow to it like it's your king. If you feel pleasure, it's your right. But there is a sense of being able to control and have self-control, which is a beautiful virtue, and people don't talk about it. In marriage, right? They just don't.
And it comes to even just, I want to eat what feels good, or I want to do this job in life because it's sort of, I feel good about that. And just doing it because it feels good or because I'm happy is limiting.
It's the same with your diet.
It's empty in ways. It is good to be happy with your job, don't get me wrong, but there's a deeper feel of calling to a certain career. There's a deeper calling to a woman that you feel really passionate about, that you know that you achieve great things with your projects and with the desires of your heart. Sometimes it's the harder road is a better road.
Great metaphor. If you just ate everything you wanted, some people don't crave a lot of sugar, but if you just ate, I want a donut, eat a donut. I want a chocolate bar, eat the chocolate bar. I want French fries for dinner, eat that for dinner. For breakfast, I want to have that greasy bacon. That's going to destroy your body over the years. And in marriage, there's a sense, just as you need self-control with food and good choices, you need self-control in your sexuality. You need self-control in your eyes and what they're doing, and you need to have a conversation together to make decisions that both of you can feel safe, whatever safety looks like for you. People find these conversations really hard, and again, this is about intimacy beyond the bedroom and feeling safe and building emotional safety. And if you have that emotional safety, sex will be better.
There is that idea that being intimate together in the bedroom and that touch and having, you know, sexual intimacy, there is a bond that's made that's so deep, you know, that really does,
true.
That you can't do away with so quickly, you know, if there's some sort of breakup in a relationship. So it's something that's long and lasting through that. But I want to talk about even things like just affectionate touch. So it's just like we talk about in the body, mind, heart shift of just putting your hand on.
If you're comfortable too, just bringing back touch.
You know, I'm a very touch-based person, physical therapist, so learned and realized the power of touch. So it could just be as simple as a hand on hand, but something like that just releases oxytocin in our bodies. So we know that there's this wonderful reaction just of feeling that, and that is different to if I put my hand on me, if she puts her hand on me, then there's a different reaction in my body, and physiology shows that.
In a marriage context, those little bids for physical connection often can, over the years, get eroded. And it's so beautiful to bring those back and in just little ways through your day. Now, for some, it's going to feel natural, and for others, it's not. And this week, I posted on Instagram at Andrew and Lara this gorgeous reel which went viral.
It's lovely.
That went viral, but it was couples that looked like over 70 years old. And they were doing physical bids for connection.
Yeah, dancing. And
there was an older lady who looked probably 80 just sitting on her husband of probably 85 years old's lap and him just comforting her. There was pinches on the bottom. There was, what else do we remember seeing? That running on the beach together, chasing each other.
Or just like, you know, giving flowers on the birthday and just that leaning over.
And a kiss on the lips.
Kissing on the lips.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful to see, which I see our life being just as however we age, is that my heart's the same, and we're just going to keep wanting physical connection.
But why that went viral is interesting.
Yeah.
Because we don't see that enough, because it's expected that you'll be a grumpy old couple that just sit there watching TV and that there won't be any physical connection. But there was flirting, there was play, there was fun, there was practical jokes. There was this old woman who put her hand on her husband's butt, and it was just hilarious. But I think it really resonated with people, because if you want a long-term relationship, keep playing, keep being physical, keep showing up and doing little physical bids for connection. And you know what? I'm going to be honest, it doesn't come naturally to Andrew and I anymore. The amount of physical touch has gone down majorly over our 20 years together.
Oh, yeah.
We used to be glued to each other.
Yeah.
And I definitely see that what we're sharing with you over the 20 years, but I don't compare it to the beginning. I compare it to, well, look at us right now, and where can we go from here in order to build a beautiful marriage from here forward. So if that's you and you haven't had that for years, don't stress. You can actually show up differently and do things like, how's your heart today? Ask each other that and just listen.
Yeah.
You can go to andrewandlara.com and download our free thing. It's to build that connection back. And
because you may just need to check in with yourself and say, okay, I'm in that ramped up state, and that's adding to, I feel this divide from my wife, and then, okay, that doesn't need to be a barrier. We're going to work on some stuff later, but like for now, I just need to hold her hand. Yeah. And tell her that I love her, or I'm gonna work some things out together, but like, I just want to give you a hug. I need a hug myself, you know?
Yeah, because honestly, if tomorrow you didn't have each other anymore, not because of divorce, but heaven forbid that somebody went to heaven earlier than you were expecting, you would miss the little things, the little hug you got when they came home from work, the little handhold that you did maybe on a Sunday morning, the walk you did down the street, not just the walk, but the actual, oh yeah, that's right, my husband went for my hand, or he came to give me a hug in the kitchen, and I almost didn't lean into it because I was so busy getting things done. You would miss those little bids for connection with all your heart. Put in a hug this week. Put in a handhold, put in a kiss when you come home, just put in some little bids.
Do you know what I thought? You can say, oh, but that's just not me right now. I don't run back and give her a little kiss before I go. But I think I'm on time with the kids to leave for school. My wife's in the kitchen there. I'm saying, no, I'm going to walk back there. I'm going to kiss her in the mouth. And I'm going to tell her that I love you.
He did that today.
I've been so focused to get things right, to be on time, to be surrounded with my pressures. So this might be you, that it might be like, that's not me. I'm not wired like that right now. But you'd be interested in how in a week or two of just 3 bids a week of just going back, kiss on the lips and go, how it quickly becomes you. And that's a quick habit shift, and it's a quick thing that just becomes normal for you.
In your marriage, think of creating an environment for the other person to flourish. If you want them to be closer to you, and it's always, you need to change, you need to change, you need to change, it's not going to be the quickest way to change. What you need to go is, what's coming up for me in this area? I'm longing for them to do those things, or maybe I am doing those things and the other person's not responding. You lean into those questions with curiosity, and you say, what is coming up for me that I'm resisting? Like, what am I seeing as more important? Or what is coming up for you, babe, when I lean in and you're not responding? Have these conversations, because the curiosity around that can really lead to something so beautiful. Safety is sexy. It's the sexiest thing you could probably have in your marriage, and yet no one portrays safety in a marriage in a film as sexy. I don't know the last film I've seen where they're like, safety's so sexy, babe, let's go to the bedroom. But it is. Safety is sexy because it lets desire breathe. And when you feel safe, connection becomes effortless. If you feel safe, it means you're connected. If you feel safe, it means that you can show up for each other and be, here's my heart, babe, like today. It's a hot mess, and do you see it? And that's sexy. I think that's sexy.
And I know for us, definitely, and being more sexually intimate, for sure. When I feel safe, you feel safe, I know that things are just flowing so much better.
They are. Yeah. In a marriage context, like, this is just where it's at. So this week, it would be great if you could share this with somebody that you know. You can share it with your spouse. Not in a, here, you need to learn a lesson. Like, hey, let's grow together. Let's do this weekly. Listen to Marriage, Intimacy and Healing on whatever platform. Subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Look forward to it.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us on Marriage, Intimacy and Healing. Remember, connection isn't about perfection. It's about showing up.
If you want a quick way to feel closer tonight, grab our free resource, The 3-Minute Marriage Reset, at andrewandlara.com. We'll see you next week. And until then, keep choosing each other every single day.